Do your cake mixes made from a box cake mix always come out dry? Yeah. I'm going to show you some tricks that somebody's probably never told you. This is how most bakeries, and they do use mixes, cake mixes, they'll take a $3 or $4 cake mix and charge you $40 for the end result. Let me show you how. First, let me show you what we're going to start with. Duncan Hines Perfectly Moist German chocolate cake. I like the Duncan Hines cake mixes, so did my mother. In my opinion, these are better than Pillsbury or Betty Crocker. That's just my opinion. You let me know what you think. You need to add some pudding. This is the larger size box. This is the 5.9, but they have one that's like 3.4. You can use that. And most people don't know this. This is an aha moment. You know, on the back of the box, it tells you to use 1 cup of water. No, use milk instead. That's one tip to get you a moisture cake. Another tip on the back, it says to use 3 large eggs. But if you add more eggs, you again will get a moisture cake. So another aha moment. So we're going to use 6 large eggs. Now I know you're probably thinking, oh doggone, eggs cost so much. We're in baking season. I live near a Kroger, I'm sure everybody does, and they have different names for different Krogers all over the country. They have been putting their eggs on sale just about every week, and they probably will, because again, it's baking season. I bought 18 eggs for $2 just last week. So just keep your eye out, and if you have a different store near you, look at the ads. They're putting them on sale. They're cheaper. Now, this box also says half a cup of vegetable oil. No, another aha moment. You want to use melted butter. Now I'll tell you the different ratio though. Like here it says a half a cup. We're not going to use half a cup of melted butter. More on that in the video. Can't tell you everything ahead of time. And there's a couple other aha moments I'll tell you about when we get to it. But first, let's go ahead and add everything to our KA mixer, KitchenAid mixer. Going in first is the cake mix. Now, here's our milk. And this is 1 cup of milk. I use 2% milk because that's what we use in the house. Growing up, we grew up on vitamin D whole milk. Yeah. To me, it used to be thick when we were little. It's not thick like it anymore. They've changed it. Okay. Here comes our pudding. And we are making a bundt cake. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how to prep your bundt cake. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do our 6 large eggs. I'm going to put them in this box. I'm going to put them in the box here after I crack them. And I got mine. I thought I forgot mine. I always have to have a dish towel with me. Can wipe the counter off. Because when you're cracking your eggs, this is a tip. Crack them on the counter first. And you can even, and I will do that, make sure we don't get any eggshells. I'm going to use this container I had the milk in. So I will crack the egg on the counter and then put it in this container I had the milk in. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, see, got it on my apron. Let me wipe that off. Okay, no eggshells. We can put it in. The tip. I let my eggs come to room temperature. Put that in there. If you have your ingredients at room temperature, your cake mix, any kind of batter you're going to be baking with, it will mix together more quickly and more evenly. Make sure no eggshells. And it's always good to crack your eggs in something separate like I'm doing here for a couple reasons. One, the eggshells, we talked about that. But 2, when you crack it and it smells funny, more than likely you got a bad egg. You don't want to put that in your batter. And don't ask me how I know this, but once you get eggshells in your batter, it's hard to get them out. Now, I watched this one channel and they said that the eggshells will bake and they'll be at the bottom of the pan. Don't ask me how I know this, but that didn't happen with me. Now, what are you all baking? And if you are a beginning baker, this is the video for you to help show you what to do and what not to do. And I'm gonna tell you something. You follow my tips and you do this for your cake, your family, your friends, wherever you're taking that cake, co-workers, make another cake, make another cake. Trust me. Okay, and we have one more egg, and that will be 6 eggs. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm making a German chocolate cake as I showed you. And this trick I learned from a lady on TikTok. I don't remember her name. I wish I did. I'd give her credit. And the frosting, I'm using the Betty Crocker coconut pecan frosting. I don't know why Duncan Hines doesn't make one to go with their cake. 2 tablespoons. Take 2 tablespoons of your frosting. And it don't have to be an exact amount. Just, you know, close enough. And put that in your batter that you're going to be mixing up. But don't put that 2 tablespoon measurement down, because you need it again right now. Another aha moment. None of the cake mixes you buy are going to tell you to put any flavor in there. You need to put flavor in your cake mix. Anything you're baking, you need to put flavor in the batter. And if I was making a lemon cake, I would use lemon flavor, okay? But I'm making this German chocolate, so I'm going to use vanilla. I like this vanilla from Costco. Some people do, some people don't. But I do. Now, whenever you're putting any kind of ingredients, dry or liquid, shake it up first to redistribute the ingredients. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of vanilla in here. And I'm going to start mixing this up. But that's not it. That's not the last ingredient. We have one more ingredient. One more aha moment. But before I start mixing, I want to show you that trick, or tip rather, on your prepping your Bundt pan. So let me get my Bundt pan and I'll show you that. This is just your standard, ordinary Nordic ware Bundt pan. I love Nordic ware. I did a video on that. It's on the channel. And then I like to use Baker's Joy to prep it with. Now, you see the pan. This is, you know, clean pan. When you get done prepping it with this Baker's Joy, it's going to be basically white. And I like to spray it really well, getting all the crevices, nooks and crannies, mix my cake, and then right before I'm ready to pour the batter in, I'll check it, and I'll even spray a little bit more. We don't want this to get stuck. But you see how the pan's turning white as I'm spraying? That's what you want. And make sure you get around this center part really well. I'm gonna go set this on the side. Now, let's start mixing the cake. I'm not gonna talk too much while this mixer's on because it's loud, but hopefully you can see and hear what I'm doing. And I'll show you what the batter looks like. Here we go. Oh, one more tip. Let me get a dish towel. I'm gonna show you some kitchen towel. When you're getting ready to mix stuff and you have flour or whatever, it can fly up out of there. Cover your KA and then turn it on, and this will catch any kind of flour mixture flying up. And you want to do low and slow. That's another aha moment. You don't want to mix your batter real fast, real hard, because that'll make it dry out and get rough and tough. You don't want that. So low and slow. Okay. I'm going to stop it, and I want to show you what it looks like, if I can. Let's see. See, that's what the batter looks like right now. I gotta add one more ingredient. And I think I told you about this anyway. Instead of using oil, we use butter, melted butter. Okay, here's the melted butter. Here's the melted butter. And the recipe or the mix called for 1/2 cup of oil. No, when you use melted butter, double it. Whatever the oil called for on the box mix, double it as far as melted butter. So let me explain. Because I think I kind of jumbled that, sorry. The box cake mix asks for half a cup of oil. You double that, so 1 cup of melted butter, and that's 2 sticks. And what you also do when you're using your KA is you need to get down in the bottom and make sure that the bottom is getting incorporated. So I'm gonna do that now. And with the melted butter, do not add that right after you've added your eggs, because it may cook your eggs, because you know the melted butter is warm. So that's why I mixed it a little bit to make sure the eggs were incorporated, and then I went and got my melted butter. So another tip. Okay, let's turn it back on. And another reason I mixed it a little bit with the melted butter in here with the spatula, because the butter will slosh up around. You don't want that to happen. Oh, I didn't have my bowl on there all the way locked. Well, that's on me. This is as fast as I'll have it on, which is on 2. I don't mix anything faster than 2 as far as the cake, box cake mix. Again, low and slow. You don't want a rough, tough batter. We're trying to get a smooth, moist, delicious, fool them thinking it's bakery cake batter. And I'm pretty sure it tells you on here to mix for 2 minutes, and that's about how long you want to mix. You need to get stuff off of the attachment too, because the batter will get stuck on there and it won't be mixed in yet. So I'm going to get this off a little bit, and I'm going to see some of the dry ingredients came off, and I'm going to mix it a little bit more, and then that'll be it. This will be our batter. Just a few more seconds. There we go. Always unplug your KA before you start messing with the attachment, taking it off or anything like that. Don't want to, I mean, I've never had it happen, but I always unplug mine, and I've never heard of it happen per se, but I don't want that thing to accidentally turn on and your hands or any part of your body or clothing is caught up in here. We don't want that to happen. And I wish you guys were here because it smells so good already. And I'm making this for a family friend. We aren't going to have this, but you know, Thanksgiving is, oh my gosh, it's not this week, it's next week. Holy crow. And I think I'm gonna make a marble cake for the family. But I'm gonna be following the same steps, switching out just like I do whenever I do a box cake mix, which is usually what I do. Because I struggle with cake mixes from scratch. They just don't turn out right for me. And I kept trying to do that. And then my sister reminded me that our mother always made her cake mixes, or not cake mixes, but cakes from Duncan Hines cake mixes. So it's like, well, okay. And they were always delicious. But you know what's funny? Back in the day, she didn't do all these swap outs. She would just follow the box and just add some. She did add the vanilla to add the flavor. But she didn't do all that other stuff. But you know what else is funny? The cake mixes back in the day, they were bigger. Like this one is 15.25 ounces, and I think back then they were 16 ounces. So you got more cake mix. And like I said, her cakes were always excellent, always moist. We gobbled them up. Heck, we would fight over the cake mix bowl. Who gets to lick the bowl, you know? And we would take turns, like, if it was my brother this time, next time it'd be me, or my sister, you know, something like that. My mother made it fair. Okay, this is what our cake mix batter is looking like. So I'm just going to go around once or twice more with my spatula. I want to make sure that there's no dry ingredients, no unmixed ingredients at the bottom, which doesn't look like there is. So now we got to I'm gonna move that out of the way some more. Let me tidy up a little bit. I put that in there. Put this in the trash. This too. I'm gonna bring the Bundt pan back over. Probably spray it a little bit more, and we'll pour our cake mix in there. And you see how it's not as white as it was before? but you can still see that it's in there and it's glistening, so we know we sprayed it. But I'm going to spray it again a little bit before we turn the, not turn, but add the batter. Nothing like getting a cake stuck in your cake pan after you bake it. It's awful. It can be fixed with frosting, don't get me wrong. Again, don't ask me how I know. Try to angle this so you can see me pour this in. And I will rotate the Bundt pan around a little bit as I'm pouring the batter in to try and get it evenly distributed into the Bundt pan. Never fill your Bundt pans more than 3/4 full, because more than likely if you do, your cake's going to overflow in your oven and make a hot mess. That's one tip. Another tip, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to put this Bundt pan on a cookie sheet before I put it in the oven. That way, in case there is an overflow, it'll overflow on the cookie sheet, not on the bottom of my oven, because that's an awful hot mess to clean. Don't ask me how I know. I hope y'all getting the drift when I say don't ask me how I know, that all those mini disasters, baking disasters, have happened to me. Thus, I've learned, and I'm sharing my knowledge with you all. And I know some of you might be wondering, I thought you were doing political stuff on your channel. I was, and I still will. But my channel started out with me baking and cooking. I'm a better baker than I am a cook, I won't lie. But, you know, it is what it is. We're all better at something, right? The key is to keep trying, to keep learning. And the more you do something, the more you learn. And then you got YouTube and Google. You got a question to ask. If you guys have other tips on cake mixes, leave them in the comments. I'm curious to see what you all know. Because again, I don't know everything. What I do know, I know from experience. And I want to share that. Especially if there's anybody out there, this is their first year baking, and they're baking a cake. You want to wow your family and friends or co-workers. You want them to say, oh my gosh, make another cake like this. It's so moist. And you don't have to tell them that it's a cake mix cake. You can tell them you got it at a bakery or it's homemade, whatever you want to say. Because as my aunt taught me, because I told her, you know, she loves my cakes. And I told her, I said, well, you do know that's a cake mix cake, right? It's not homemade. She corrected me. She said, Buffy, it was made in the home. In your home, it's homemade. Okay, honey. You got me there. And I try to get as much batter in the bowl. I don't like wasting batter, so that's what I'm doing here. But before we put it on the cookie sheet and in the oven, we got to do something, and I'm going to show you this too. Let me wipe my hands off, get this out of the way. I do have my cookie sheet though. That needs to go in the trash. I don't know why I'm putting it there. Okay. Now, you see how it's kind of lumpy and all over the place? You want to tap it. Shake it a little bit. And what I'm doing with the tapping and the shaking is I'm trying to evenly distribute the cake batter. I also want to get holes, or air holes, that's what I'm saying. Air hole, not air holes, that sounds wrong. I want to get air pockets, that sounds better, out of the cake batter. So you want a more even cake, right? Baking cake. And I'm just shaking it a little bit too. And you could also use the spatula and smooth it down, and I might do that a little bit, but then you got more batter you got to get off the spatula, so I like doing it this way. So but see how that's a little bit more evenly distributed now? So I'm gonna put it on there and into the oven, and I will let you know how long it's going to bake. I think it's about 46-48 minutes, but I'll let you know. All right, I'll be back. What do you all think of my apron? Remember I told you I bake better than I cook? So, yeah. What do you think? I'm too pretty to cook, so I bake. What do you think? Leave a comment, let me know. Oh, if you guys like these, I have my website, buffysflavorfuljourney.com. I can add these to the website and some other aprons if you guys are interested. Makes a great Christmas gift. Hey, I just put the cake in the oven, set it for 46 minutes, but don't leave. I want to show you some more tips on how to get a moist bakery style cake from a box cake mix. You got to stick around, see what other tips I got, and I do have some more. All right, I'll be back when it's ready to come out of the oven. Here's the cake out of the oven. It baked for 46 minutes. The tip, you see how it's pulling away from the edge of the baking pan? That's one way to tell you that it's done. I also like this handy dandy cake tester, and you always test in the center. And if it comes out clean, your cake is done. I'm gonna let it cool for probably at least an hour, and we'll frost it. Okay, after you let the cake, and it did fall quite a bit, but that's okay, because I needed to fit in here. But again, I overmixed it, so don't overmix it when you do it, but it's still a beautiful cake. But anyway, you let it sit here for about 20 minutes in the pan. Now we gotta flip it out. No, you can't quite hear that I made a lot of noise, but I know it released because I heard it release. Look at that beautiful cake. And this is what my pan looks like. Okay, not too bad. You can still see steam, at least I can, coming off here. I don't know if you can. But now I'm going to let it finish cooling. I know I said I let it sit for an hour to cool. No. Now we're going to let it sit for an hour to cool. So when it comes out, let it sit in the pan for about 20 minutes. Then you flip it out. Then you let it cool for an hour or so before you frost it. And I can take it off of that now. Okay, I'll be back. Okay. All right, I have this. This is a chopstick. This is the fatter end that you hold. This is the smaller end that you actually pick your food up with. Now, I just went through and I poked holes all the way through here. I'm trying to save time on the video, so I didn't show you me doing that all. And it's sitting on a travel to go cake pan. And I have it on 2 sheets of parchment paper. It's really just 1 sheet, and I cut it in half. And I'll show you why in a minute, but I gotta go get check on the icing. I have this in the microwave because I want to get it soft. I want it to get pourable, because for those who are new, I cannot ice or frost a cake to save my soul. I currently struggle with, and I don't practice enough to do it. So this was a trick I learned on TikTok too. This guy was making a birthday cake for his wife. He had never made a cake before. He didn't know how to frost it or ice it. So, and I can just stick that in there. He put it in the microwave, melted it, and poured it over. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's the consistency I like. And what I also like about it is it's warm now. So you pour it on the cake. The cake will be warmed up again, kind of, sort of. And we literally are just going to pour this on here, and then I will spread it if I need to. Sometimes I get it even more pourable than this, and I probably should have heated it up a little bit more. Probably should have. Doggone it. Yeah, I should have heated it up just a little bit more to make it more pourable, but we're gonna make it work because we got this spatula. Because when you heat it up, it expands, the volume expands, and it's like you have more frosting, more icing. Okay, now we're just going to fill in any spots that didn't get covered. Oh my gosh, it smells good. Betty Crocker, I may not like your cake mixes, but this frosting mix I do like. I love it, actually. I really must say. And the parchment paper, I think I forgot to tell you, it's on there to catch any excess frosting, so that, see, I'm gonna melt another one. This doesn't look good. I'm gonna melt another thing of frosting for this, because it'll look even prettier if I do it that way. But I'm gonna keep going. We'll see. Maybe I won't have to. Oh, I won't have to, because I didn't see all that excess over there. Good. So this parchment paper is catching the excess frosting, and when I move it, well, I made a mess there. The bottom of the cake pan will be clean. Presentation matters. So I still think I kind of want to do another one. I think I am. This is more of the consistency that I need. It's a little bit more pourable. Well, yeah, this is it. I'm not going to use all of it, just maybe half. The rest I can use on something else. But this will fill in some of those spots that, well, I believe needed to be filled in. Or maybe, yeah, this is much better now. And no, I'm not going to let that go to waste. I'll sit it there for a minute. Okay. We'll put it all in the middle first. And then we'll spread it where we need to spread it. Oh, jeez. Buffy, what are you doing? Okay. That's about as good as I can get it, I think. So what I'm going to do is get a towel to wipe that up. But this is how you make a cake mix look like or taste like a bakery cake mix, and it's moist. And so thanks for coming along. I will be doing more baked goods. If you want me to do more videos, just let me know. Like, I have to make a cake for next week for us. If you guys want me to do a video on that, leave a comment and I will. She's beautiful. I was thinking about making a marble, but I don't know. This German chocolate's looking delicious. All right. You're welcome. Bye for now.